Hello and welcome to my second tutorial on DaVinci Resolve. On the last episode we imported our footage into Resolve, so we ended up with two bins with our Blackwater folder and our Day Dives folder. So on this episode we're just going to make a short little sequence, also known as a timeline in DaVinci Resolve, of our clips, making a small little movie. We are going to be using the cut page, which is new to Resolve 16, that is used for very fast, simple editing. So we're going to go down the bottom, we're going to click on cut, and we will get a page like this. Just to go through the screen, at the top up here you have your media pool. You can actually close it on and off up here. At the moment we're in master day dives. You can go back to master, we can go into our Blackwater. Let's just open one of these up, double click on that. Over here is our viewer. There are actually three viewers up here. The first one is our source clip viewer, so this is so we can see our individual clips. The second one is very useful. The second one is called source tape. This will put everything from the Blackwater folder in sequence chronologically, so even if you did one dive and you've got all of your footage in order, the source tape will show the dive from start to finish. So it makes it very easy, fast editing. The last one will be the timeline or sequence view, which we'll get to once we've actually made a sequence. So, basic editing for any video. Each clip, you only want the segments of the clip that are obviously good. So you have an in point where you want to start, an out point where you want it to end. I will just go over a few key commands that are very useful in DaVinci Resolve. First, very easy one is pressing space to start the footage and stop the footage. So space starts the footage, space stops the footage. You can also go forwards and backwards a frame using the left and right arrow key. So you can actually then find exactly where you want it to start or exactly where you wanted it to end. If you press shift and press left and right, it'll go back a second or go forward a second. That's also very useful. For the in and out points, we are going to use the I and O keys. So I for in, O for out, which is very convenient. They're right next to each other as well. So to start making a timeline, see at the beginning of this, he's out of focus and a little bit blurry. I'm just going to keep scrolling forwards until he's sharp. I think around now. He's sharp in focus. You can use the arrow keys, go back, let's have a look. Blurry, blurry, blurry. Camera focuses. There we go. So we can mark this as our in point. I'm going to press I. You can see that the bar's moved. And then a good rule of thumb for your clips, you really don't want really long clips. People are going to get bored. So like maybe 3 to 6 seconds per clip. Sometimes people do a bit faster clips, but we're just going to do 3 to 6 seconds. I can play it. 1, 2, 3. That's fine. And now I'm going to just press O for out. Okay, we haven't actually created a timeline or a sequence yet, but we don't need to before we start. Resolve will create one when we add our first clip. This bar here is how you do different types of inserting your clip into the timeline. And we're just going to use one and keep it simple using append, which is this one here. So if I append this clip now with its in and out, as there is no timeline, it will actually create a new timeline. You can actually see it up here. It's actually been called timeline 1. We could rename that if we want. Our video. There we go. So now we want to add the rest of our clips. You can see this white line here is the start of the next clip, and this white line here is the start of the next one. So the next clip, we could start here, press I. Say you know you wanted a 4-second clip, you hold down shift, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then press out. Now we have an exact 4-second clip. Now we could yet again go over here and click on the append, One more keyboard shortcut is Shift F12. This is also append. It will speed up your editing. This always sticks it at the end of your timeline. Okay, so we can actually now go over to our third clip, and yet again you can see that he's out of focus here using the arrow keys. Okay, we'll start him about here. Press I for in point, and we're just going to play him. He then shoots off screen. I'm going to go back until he just leaves. O for out, and then Shift F12 to append to the end. We can continue with our day dives after this. Okay, and there you have it. You now have a timeline of all of your clips. You can then rewind it right to the start. You can watch your completed timeline. Okay, a quick thing on the timeline. Now we've actually made our sequence. We've got two timeline viewers in the cut page. You've got one at the top that shows the entire sequence, so it's very easy to navigate the whole sequence from start to end. The one at the bottom is a lot more in detail, and you can actually do finer edits down here later, which just makes it very convenient. You don't need to zoom in and out of your time frame, which you'd have to do in the edit page. This one you can see the entire sequence already. That's it for this episode. Next week we'll actually get on to refining the edit, adding some music, adding some stabilization. I think the episode after that we'll be doing color correction and how to make some of these images pop out a little bit more. Followed by a few other little effects and titles and things like that to actually finish our video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you stay tuned for the rest of the series.